Imagine this, I'm standing in a bustling coffee shop, heart pounding, as I hand over a check for $50,000 to a complete stranger. A guy I've known for less than an hour. And as I watch him walk away with my life savings, I whisper to myself, what have I done? But fast forward 2 years, and that same stranger is now my business partner, and we're toasting to our first $1 million quarter. Sounds crazy, right? Stick around because this is the story of how one impulsive decision changed my life forever, and it might just inspire you to take a leap too. But wait, before we dive in, picture this. Just as everything seems to be falling into place, a single email threatens to unravel it all. Will our dream survive? That's the question hanging in the air right now. My name is Alex, and back in 2022, I was your average 35-year-old accountant living in a cramped apartment in Chicago. Steady job, predictable routine, but deep down, I felt stuck. You know that feeling? Like you're just going through the motions, watching everyone else chase their passions while you crunch numbers for someone else's dream. My parents had drilled into me the importance of security, save every penny, avoid risks. They'd lost everything in the 2008 crash, so I grew up hearing stories of financial ruin. That fear was etched into my bones. But one rainy afternoon, everything changed. I was at my usual coffee spot, nursing a latte and scrolling through LinkedIn, when this guy plops down across from me. Tall, disheveled hair, wearing a faded startup t-shirt. Mind if I join? All tables are taken, he says with a grin. His name was Jordan, and he looked like he'd been up for days. We started chatting, small talk at first, about the weather, the city. But then he mentions he's an inventor. I've got this idea, he says, eyes lighting up. A smart water bottle that tracks hydration, syncs with your phone, and even reminds you to drink based on your activity levels. It's eco-friendly, made from recycled materials, and could revolutionize how people stay healthy. I laughed it off at first. Sounded like another gadget in a sea of them. But as he pulled out his phone and showed me sketches, prototypes he'd 3D printed in his garage, I got hooked. Jordan wasn't just talking, he was passionate. He told me about his background. Grew up in a small town, single mom working 2 jobs, always tinkering with stuff as a kid. He dropped out of college to care for her when she got sick, and this invention was his way out, his tribute to her memory after she passed. She always said hydration was key to health, he shared, his voice cracking a bit. It hit me hard because I'd lost my dad to heart issues a few years back, and yeah, dehydration played a part. Suddenly, this wasn't just a business pitch, it was personal. We talked for hours. Jordan admitted he was broke, maxed out credit cards, no investors biting because he lacked a fancy degree or connections. He needed $50,000 to produce the first batch and get it to market. Why me? I asked. He shrugged. You look like someone who's played it safe too long. And honestly, I just need someone to believe in this as much as I do. By the time the shop closed, I was scribbling numbers on a napkin. My savings account had exactly that amount. My emergency fund, my safety net. Handing it over felt insane, but also exhilarating. As I wrote the check, my hands shook. What if he ghosted? What if it flopped? But I did it. We shook hands, and he promised to keep me updated. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of doubt. I'd wake up in cold sweats, checking my email obsessively. Jordan sent prototypes photos, supplier quotes, but progress was slow. Then came the first big hurdle, manufacturing delays. The factory in China ghosted us after taking a deposit. We were out $10,000, and Jordan was panicking. I can't lose this, he called me one night, voice breaking. I could hear his kid crying in the background, he'd never mentioned a family before. Turns out, he was a single dad to a 5-year-old daughter, Mia, whose mom had left them. That added layers. This wasn't just his dream, it was for her future too. I drove to his place that weekend, a tiny apartment stacked with boxes of half-assembled bottles. Mia was drawing pictures of Daddy's magic bottle, and it melted me. We brainstormed solutions, found a local US manufacturer, more expensive but reliable. I chipped in extra time, helping with the business plan since numbers were my thing. But just as we got production rolling, disaster struck. A competitor launched a similar product, bigger brand, massive marketing budget. Our pre-orders trickled in, but theirs exploded. Sales flatlined. Jordan was devastated. I saw him age 10 years in a month. Maybe we should cut our losses, I suggested one evening over cheap pizza. He looked at me, eyes fierce. No. This is for my mom, for Mia. We pivot. That night, we stayed up till dawn, reworking the app to include mental health reminders, tying hydration to stress levels, something no one else had. It was inspired by Jordan's own battles with anxiety after his mom's death. Sharing that vulnerability bonded us. I opened up about my fears of failure, how my parents' loss made me risk-averse. We weren't strangers anymore, we were in this together. Months passed, and the pivot paid off slowly. We got featured on a small wellness blog, then a podcast. Sales ticked up. But money was tight. I took a second job bartending to cover my rent, lying to friends about where my savings went. Jordan sold his car to fund ads. Tensions rose, Mia got sick, hospital bills piled up. One argument exploded, "You invested in me, not my family drama," he yelled. I stormed out, questioning everything. Was this worth it? My life was unraveling. And here's where it gets intense. Right as we hit our first 1,000 units sold, Jordan calls me in hysterics. The factory's on fire. Literally. Everything's gone. My stomach dropped. Our entire inventory, up in flames. Insurance? Barely covered half. We were ruined. Or were we? That cliffhanger moment tested us like nothing else. We rallied. I cashed in my 401k, another $20,000 risk, and we rebuilt with a better supplier. The fire made headlines locally, turning us into underdogs. People rooted for us. Crowdfunding surged, strangers donated because our story resonated, the grieving inventor, the cautious accountant who took a chance. Mia even made a video thanking supporters, her big eyes full of hope. It went viral on TikTok. But challenges kept coming. A lawsuit from that competitor, claiming patent infringement. Lawyers drained our funds, court dates loomed. Jordan broke down one night, admitting he felt like a failure as a dad. Mia's asking why we can't afford her dance classes anymore. I hugged him, first time I did that, and shared my own low, calling my mom, confessing the investment, her tears of worry. But I'm proud of you for trying, she said, surprising me. That emotional pivot strengthened us. We fought the lawsuit with pro bono help from a lawyer fan, and won. Turns out their patent was weak. As the business grew, so did our friendship. We hired staff, expanded to smart mugs. Mia became our unofficial mascot, testing products. I met someone, a marketer who joined the team, and for the first time, I felt alive, not just surviving. Yet, another twist, just as we approached profitability, Jordan gets an offer from a big corp, $500K to buy us out. We could walk away rich, he says. But it meant losing control, our vision. I hesitated, security tempted me. We debated for weeks, emotions raw. Mia overheard, crying, "Don't sell Daddy's dream." That sealed it, we turned it down. 2 years in, we're thriving. Revenue hit 7 figures last quarter. Jordan's buying a house, I'm debt-free with equity. But more than money, it's the growth. I learned risk isn't the enemy, stagnation is. Jordan found purpose beyond grief. Mia's got a college fund. Looking back, that coffee shop moment was fate. If you're watching, feeling stuck like I was, remember, sometimes, trusting a stranger, or yourself, pays off in ways you can't imagine. It's not about the $50,000, it's about believing in potential, yours and others. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of real risks and rewards. Who knows? Your next big break might be one conversation away. But wait, there's one more layer. What if I told you that stranger wasn't entirely random? Years later, Jordan confessed he'd scoped me out on LinkedIn, knowing my background. Planned? Fate? You decide. Either way, it worked. And that's the inspiring truth, opportunities hide in the unexpected. Go chase yours.